My vulva, vulva and me. My vulva, my vulva and me. My vulva and me.
All right, so today we have, as I said, none other than the Danni Rose of Stovetop Kisses. Welcome to my Vulva and Me. Thank you so much for agreeing to have this conversation with me, with us, with all of the wonderful Black women who are tuning in. So why don't you go ahead, as we do on my Vulva and Me, I want the Black women to stand on their own feet and introduce themselves, because can't nobody big you up like you own, because you know what you do and nobody can do it better than you. So go ahead and won't you just tell all the people who you are and why you are such the amazing person that you are.
Well, listen, thank you for that introduction, because I'm like, I don't have to say nothing else, honey. You done already said enough. I'm like, I'm all that. I am. Sure. Okay. I'm just a food personality person. My name is Danni Rose. For all you guys out there watching, I'm Stovetop Kisses on the internet. Okay, and I am a food personality. I cook food and I do all the things food related, but for right now. And I love sex, men, Jesus, and food. So I'm excited to be here today.
Sex, Jesus, and food. Does it get any better than that?
No, it does not.
I mean, really. And you know, here at my Vulva, we are the representatives of those unapologetically in love with Jesus and sex. And with food in it, especially afterwards, after you had a good old night, you get a little.
That's what I'm saying. I need me a snack every time. That's if it's done right. Okay? Because if it ain't, then that's a horse of another color now, Bridget. But I'm telling you, if it's been done right, oh baby, I need me a good old grilled cheese or something afterwards. Okay.
I know it. This is why. Hear me, you. I knew it. You've been my best friend for a very long time, and you didn't even know it.
Oh my God! I'm telling you, I'm such a fan. I'm so happy to be here. I'm such a fan and admirer of your work, rather, and I think it's great what you're doing for not only the sex community but the Christian community. Because when I realized and found out who you were and what you represent, also I was like, this is the we here. We here.
I'm so excited. Listen,
we here on here. So keep on keeping on. You're doing a fantastic job.
So at my Vulva and Me, when my Vulva and Me, I'm a fan. I'm also in addition to sex, love, and Jesus, I love a good game night, right? I live for games. I make my own games. I buy games from the store. All of the social media games, I love all of them, right? So we're going to play a little game. And something that you may be familiar with is called One Gotta Go. So we will have we're going to go through a 4-course meal.
Okay.
You have to select, I'll give you 4 options. You have to select one that has to go. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, no caveats, no only if this, as is, you have to pick one.
Okay.
So we're going to go through breakfast, lunch, dinner, and dessert. Okay? So breakfast, French toast, pancakes, waffles, shrimp, and grits. One has to go.
French toast, pancakes, waffles, shrimp, and grits. I would say waffles for me. Yeah, girl. Now, you know I ain't gonna get rid of no grits, son. I'm from Alabama. And I actually prefer pancakes over waffles. I like waffles because you get the little syrup. Everybody say you get the syrup in the cracks. Put enough syrup on there, it's enough. Okay, I cut my pancakes and then I syrup them. Okay, and that way they be good. Then I like French toast because it's so pillowy and airy and just so buttery if you cook it right, and it's crispy on the outside and pillowy on the inside, and just so doggone good. Absolutely. I prefer that. Waffle, you gotta eat.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, see, I would have picked a waffle, and French toast is forever my love, especially with the crispy edges and the butter, and it's just, I can never get, but pancakes, you gotta,
Pancake girl.
Unless
I
it
think
has
it's
the
nostalgic for me because my mama made pancakes growing up. So, and you know, in the South we have, Lord, I wish they would put one out here in LA, please. But Waffle House is our thing. But you know, you eat that when you
right. And when you after the night is over, that's what
right. Amen. Okay, after your Vulva didn't have what it need to have too. You run on down to White House. Let's see what's up. So it's not my like go-to thing. But yeah, if I gotta pick one, period, waffles gotta go. That was easy.
You know what? And you know what's funny? I don't like Waffle House.
Ooh.
I'm not like Waffle House food. I think I went there one time and they ain't had no French fries or something like that, and I was like,
no French fries. No. Now I will say Waffle House is for someone like for me. I did not like Waffle House until I became like let me see. When I became like 30, I only ate Waffle House after a night out because it was the only thing that was open. And like, if you've been drinking, having the time or whatever, it tastes really good. Some foods that just taste good, like you gotta be inebriated.
right. Right.
But it's the taste amazing. And if you eat it and you're like, it's like a regular day on a Tuesday at 12, you like, this ain't something.
Well, maybe that's why I like it. Because it was like 11 o'clock on a Wednesday morning. And maybe that's why I didn't.
Now, they do have good coffee though, but at this point now, because I miss it so much being out here, like when I go home, I be like, child, Waffle House is it now. It is it. Because it's got some seasoning, okay, what we don't have out here, what we did, Lord.
Oh no, I went, when I came out to LA to film Love Hour, I was like trying to find something to eat, and I was walking around like, what is this? And
next time come to my house, child, I'm right here. Just come on in.
Oh no, I think I went to like Burger King or something. It was like,
yeah, it's LA scene food. I mean, LA food scene is it's that.
It's missing you, is what it is. They need to work some Danny into the.
I am just like, girl, it ain't. I would just say this: it ain't no place like home. It ain't no place like home. It ain't no place like home. And I'm just trying to get my way through it. And it's so funny because all my friends that come up, they like, first of all, this is season. Let's just talk about this. They be like, oh, it's so good. I'm like, no, what it is a season. That's what y'all like used to is season. That's it. That's what it is.
That's it.
So,
right.
So I'm just happy to be here. And hopefully while I'm here, the Lord got me here. You know, I could bring some seasoning to the city. Amen.
Please bring some seasoning to the stars, to the, what do they go? No, Sin City. No, that's Vegas. Well, you close enough to Vegas. You need to bring all of the surrounding areas. Vegas, Arizona, LA.
Lord willing, I will. Lord willing, I will. I promise
I know it's so.
I will.
Okay.
I will.
So let's move on to lunch.
Okay.
Wings, burgers, pizza, salad. One has to go.
Wings, burger, pizza. Yep. I love a good salad. And don't let me put salad with wings.
Oh, I know.
Amen. Okay.
And the burger.
Huh?
Oh, the burger.
I love hamburgers. And that's because growing up, my family my mama made the best hamburgers growing up. So I can't even like homemade hamburgers. We just made hamburgers the other night. I was like, ooh, that little burger be good up in here. Let me see.
I did see your recent recipe with was it like a double cheeseburger or a triple cheeseburger that you just posted your YouTube recipe?
It was a double bacon cheeseburger with the bacon.
Yeah, that I would eat.
Oh, it's bomb. I love a good hamburger. But I don't eat them all the time. And I have a 9-year-old, so pizza is in my house so much that I just be like, child, I don't want to see it. I can literally walk past it. I was hanging out with some friends the other day, and they bought pizza for all the kids. There was so much pizza, and I was hungry, and the other food, the adult food, wasn't ready yet. I walked right past that pizza. I was like, what I don't want is that.
I love pizza. I could eat pizza every day. Beef pepperoni pizza, well done. Or ground beef, I can eat that every day. Burgers?
No, ma'am. I cannot.
I thought we would.
We still here, but we're not there over there.
Oh my goodness. All right, we had
The love is still here. We just not that over there.
Oh my goodness.
I can't. I'm sorry. Now
I feel like we're gonna get this one the same. I feel like for dinner we're gonna be here. Okay, dinner.
Okay.
Soul food, seafood, Mexican food, Italian food. One has to go.
One has to go. Soul food, seafood, Italian food.
Yes! Yeah, no thank you. I don't need no spaghetti, lasagna.
I love spaghetti. I love lasagna, but you put them up against so many other big contenders that I love that I'm like, child, bye, little pasta. Let me go over here and give me some chorizo and some queso and some everything else. So, and margaritas and Mexican food is my favorite, one of my favorite cuisines. And so it's like, what we talking about?
Right.
And I put them up against them with me. I'm like, child, Mr. What they say in Italian?
Ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao, Bella.
Goodbye. Well, Carl, I'm gonna hit that Carl Bacher.
I don't know if that's Italian, but au revoir.
Yeah, no, I'm good on that right now.
Soul food has to happen. That macaroni and cheese, and I want you to know that your macaroni and cheese recipe is now my macaroni and cheese.
Oh, that's so good.
I'm like, my macaroni and cheese was good. My mother, God rest her soul, she made me make it several times a month.
Yeah.
Maybe and drop it off at her house. But then she passed before you post your new one, and I was like, you need to say, I wish you, that was when I had a moment when I first made it and tasted it. I was like, my mom would have loved it. And then she would have loved you and then like sopped up and all that. She would have just been saying it over and over again. And that would have irked me. And I'm like, no. And then we'd have fought over it because in our head, you'd have been our friend and we'd have been fighting over who could do better.
Up there with the Lord. Hey, mama. Hey, Miss Angel. Listen, I'm so excited to hear that because every time I hear that someone has taken a recipe of mine and they have made it into something that is now a family staple or staple for them in their household, to me, it allows me to understand that purpose is being fulfilled because that was the main purpose of me getting into food is to do and create those dishes that are unforgettable that people just love. I just want to feed people how I like to eat. That's all.
I love it. I love it.
That's all that is. I'm like, I don't care what the recipe say. I'll put this up in there. I literally just made a carbonara dish for someone. I work with a ton of brands, and I was like, first of all, this carbonara is about to be the most seasoned carbonara, and we're gonna put some crab and bacon and all this stuff up in there. Yeah. I know it's not traditional.
Let's get into this light flex with. I work with a lot of brands.
Listen, no, it wasn't even a flex. It was like, well, to God be the glory.
Okay? Amen.
There was a time where I could not get a brand deal for years. I've been doing what I've been doing over 10 years, and my brand deals just really started within the last 2 years. And so that's, I'm going to say it. So I'm going to say it.
Yes, thank you. You work for
this. To God be the glory. Because I remember when I was overlooked and underbooked. Okay? But God is so faithful. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I do.
Yeah. Come on now, flex on them. Listen.
It's a God flex.
It's
a God flex. It's a God flex. It really is. So for that, I just say, to God be the glory for real. I can't take no credit. That's his hand only on that part.
That is so encouraging to think about people who, like you said, you've been doing this for over a decade, and people who really get discouraged because they show up every day doing a thing, committed to a thing, and then you are like a living embodiment of what commitment looks like, of what you shall reap if you faint not, like what that looks like. And you've done it authentically though. Like you took the 10 years and you've been you the whole time, like, and it's just amazing. Like, for as much as you that the folks on the outside can see, there's been no real change. Even with your corporate deals, you're still Danni, you're still sopped up. That tongue still come out.
Okay. I told you, because I tell people it costs too much to be somebody else, and so eventually you're gonna get drained, honey, trying to be someone that you're not. Now, I can see if acting is your profession, that gives you the liberty to become something. But even with that, they dive into those roles and they become it, and they're in it for months. To sometimes it's to the point, like if we take a Heath Ledger or whatever, playing the Joker, that it can cause you to, you know, actually destroy yourself in a sense. So for me, I never want to be put in that position. And I said, now we all go through those phases of like low self-esteem when you feel like God ain't shifting you, you know, the way that you want to be shifted. So then you say, well, what about me is not good? You know, what about me is not enough? So maybe I need to change what it is I think they're looking for and become that. And I did for a minute. I was like, nah, this ain't even it.
It don't even feel right.
It just feels like you're doing. And I said, if I got to lose me in it, then it's not for me to be in. So let me just take myself out and put myself in a position to always be me, no matter what. And then that way, people, I feel like when you are authentic to who you are, people trust you. Yeah. They ride with you. They walk with you. You know what I mean? They become intercessors and all that. You are surrounded by people that can connect with you more when you are who yourself. And I think that what we have in society is people trying to become something that they actually aren't, because they feel like that what they are is not enough, because they have not seen the manifestations yet. But if you faint not. You know what I mean? If
That's Bible.
Do not grow weary and well doing.
And well doing. And the thing is that when you think about purpose, right? Mm-hmm. And you think about exactly who you are, there are definitely areas in our lives where we can grow, we can be better, right? But there are things that are just intrinsically who we are. Like your bubbly, outgoing personality is just a part of it. Seems to be just a part of who you are. And you've been through things. You know, you've experienced loss. Like you've uprooted your life from Alabama, and now you're here. You know you're raising a daughter. You've been through a divorce. Like there are things that could have taken you out and just dimmed that light. But the light is just so naturally who you are that is there. And it's a lot of reason why I resonate so much with you is because like I will get into this a little more, but you said, I love whiskey, blues, and Jesus. And I'm like,
I do.
I don't like whiskey because it burns my chest, but I like a lot of stuff that go with Jesus too. And I've been through a divorce too. And I am doing things that like, you know, going to the grind every day, raising a baby, like, and just doing things in a unique way that other people, it may not match what other people say you should do. And I'm just like, you doing it and unapologetically, it gives other folks permission to do the same. Like if there's a blueprint for what being on fire for your purpose, even if it's an unfamiliar call, what it looks like, it's you. And like, I personally thank you for that. And I know that there are other people who are just like your light, like it's just, I don't even know what the word is, but it's just you. And like you, when folks is being in your presence, whether it's on your page, now with your new podcast, it's just like, folks can't get enough. And you know,
oh man.
Like seriously.
Thank you. Listen, well, you know, I believe my boy Kurt Franklin wrote a song years ago, and in the line of it was, you better, you know, basically talking about be careful because sometimes you may be the only Jesus that people see. And so when I think about even me and sitting in my truth, I try to be authentic to that, because I do believe that if you sit in the truth, then that is your place in your position of power. It's like a throne. And you can effectively govern everything in your life if you sit in truth, for real. You know, I think that when people try to, it's almost like if I am not me, and if I'm too much and I'm not true to who I am and loving these things, we have to first ask, who are we not being this for? And it's for people. It's their opinion of who we are. You know, when not realize they ain't got a heaven or hell to put us in. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, Noah got off the ark drunk. Hannah was up in that temple. I'm like, when you were little tipsy one time when you was, you know what I mean? And so when we talk about the Rahabs and the Jezebels and all that stuff. People preach that wrong anyway. A lot of times they first of all, there's more to Jezebel than that. Okay, let's talk about the controlling spirit and all that. That is, you know what I mean?
Yes. And let's talk about the husband that wasn't leading well.
Thank you. We can, we
can idol worship.
Sure.
And those things. And the fact that men can be Jezebels too.
Thank you. Come on, Brittany. Come on. We can unpack that. We can get in that word and unpack it for sure. But I said that when I was like, God, if you ever give me a platform, I will bless people. I will be authentic, and I'll always lead it back to the cross, no matter what it is, you know. And so I think that what happens is people get the platform, and then they don't show exactly who they are. Then a scandal come out, or something comes out about them, or like they like, oh, I didn't know that was them. And I'm like, honey, just put it all out there. So it ain't no surprises. And people need to understand that Christianity is not perfect. We strive, you know what I mean? What we are on to is a road to perfection, but we'll never be there. Because if we do, where does God fit in? You know what I'm saying? So his strength is made perfect in our weakness. So it's like, where does he fit in if we try to be all these things for people? So now we got, you ain't delivered from people. That's another thing. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, I put myself in a position to say, listen, one thing I'm not going to be, and that is I'm not going to be fake. What's in me going to come out every single time. Because God, I don't need to mislead or mishandle your people. You know what I mean? Because if we can also go unpack, we sin by thought, word, and deed. So y'all out there sinning, y'all out there thinking it anyway, you might as well.
Come on! I was waiting for a time to bring my fan out, and there it is. Y'all heard what she said? And you know the thing that I think is the Galatians 1, I think it is, that talks about not doing this for me. I'm not doing this to please God, to please me. I'm doing this to please God. Because what do I gain when I gain the favor of men, but not of God?
Yeah, what profits a man to gain the whole wide world?
And lose his soul. Stop now, see now, honey. This right here.
I was like, girl, we could unpack all that because you know I need to work.
Because the thing is, ultimately, you do what you do in the realm of food. I do what I do in the realm of like sex and relationships. But ultimately, it is for His purpose and His glory. So if there is no word in it, if it's not grounded in it, then what are we doing it for? Because ultimately, and when folks, you know, I like this, I appreciate this, and thank you for this. It's always to God be the glory. To God, I never want to think more highly of myself than I ought. And there's a difference between being confident and walking in who you are, who you created, and just recognize you fine, and you're smart, and you're talented, and all those things. But there's still a humility that comes with it, because all of that, nothing is of the work of your hands, but that of God.
Amen. I mean, literally, I just tell people all the time, until you get delivered from people, you will never be free. You will always be in bondage, and you will never walk out your full purpose. You know what I'm saying? Because walking out full purpose will cause you, it's going to require a certain level of freedom that you have to sit in order for you to be authentic. And so authenticity comes with being free. You know what I mean? And so now you are still presenting a mask and wanting people to buy into it. And that's not what's going to happen until you position yourself to say, you know what? I have to be delivered from this in order for me to fulfill this. Then you'll always be like a dog chasing his tail.
Absolutely.
You'll never really be able. I think the Lord will give you a little bit, but He won't give you a
He
whole
won't. He'll tether. He'll pull you. It'll be like that retractable leash. Like it'll go out just enough, but eventually that they won't snatch you right back. And my e-guide that I wrote, Understanding Issue, there's a section in there called RIP to the Representative. And it talks about when you pretend or commit yourself to being something that you are not, or something that God didn't call you to, you in essence call God a liar. Because what you're telling him is that what He determined wasn't good enough. So you're going to do something other. You need to help Him out along the way.
Right. He don't need no help in God.
And why would you want to serve a God that needs your help?
Period. He is God God is sovereign, he's almighty, he's omnipotent, he's omnipresent. He can do whatever he want to do, how he want to do it, and don't explain how he do it because he's God. So, and look, excuse this old person.
I got two of them. I understand.
Get your Chick-fil-A. That's what she's trying to get. You a mama. You
go ahead, baby. Get your food. That's all right.
Get your food from the Postmates.
That's all right, baby. Go ahead.
I'm so glad you understand. I'm like, who's that people?
That's my mine come. If mine were here, they would come. So my youngest would have sat right here, but like,
it'll been all right. It'll been all right. But yeah, okay. But yeah, it's been such a rewarding thing for me, and I'm sure that you understand that. And just being authentic, and man, at the end of the day, I'm telling you, I close my eyes and I'd be like, God, I want you to say, well done, my good and faithful servant. Not people to say, well done. Because my daddy always taught me, if you live for the cheers, you'll die by the booze anyway. So, who are we living for? Who are we living for? So I don't even, they talk about me so much, especially the gentleman I do the podcast with, Stevie. He's like, you never celebrate your accomplishments. You never celebrate this. So I'm like, listen, at the end of the day, God is still blessing. That lets me know that he is pleased. And so I'm not going to even get into all of that. I'm just still on my road, to fulfilling what it is that he has for me to do. So I didn't even know when I hit a certain amount of subscribers and stuff. They like, I'm like, still more work to be done in the earth.
There's a part of like there's this humility that comes with wanting to do right for God, right? But then it's also okay for you to take stock in what you've accomplished, what he's been able to accomplish through you, or what he's trusted you with. Because then that is all by doing that, by celebrating that, that's still ultimately bringing him glory and testifying to the goodness.
Sure. Yeah.
And so you could be a little less humble. And
look, I know. Girl, I am working on it. Like people be like, yes, you got it. I'm like, well, praise God. And I know it's so hard to believe because my personality on the internet, I'm much of an introvert than I am an extrovert, actually. And so I could be either or, but really, that's what people don't understand when they meet me. They're like, wait a minute, she's so humble. She's so, yeah, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I be chilling. I be like, Lord, because the things I do, I think I fear God so much. And so that's what I was telling him. I said, man, I fear God so much that I don't even trust me in that space to lean into it because I feel like I may get a little arrogant. So let me just lean back.
All the way back here.
Right? Yeah, because I don't want him to come through here like a tsunami on me because I know his capabilities. So I'm working on it. That's something I'm praying through, but I'm telling you, it's a work in progress. It really is. So having
all y'all intercessors watching, go and lift up Danni so she can find that happy middle between honoring God and celebrating with the good things.
Man, that's a thin line to walk, girlfriend. It is. But you're absolutely right. I'm gonna take that advice. You're absolutely right. When I thank him publicly on my platforms and stuff, and I try to do that, to let people know, like, listen, I don't know what y'all think this is out here, but it's Jesus over here.
It's Jesus over here. Okay, it's Jesus over here.
It's Jesus over here. So, and despite it all, so I'm gonna work on that. Yeah. You have my word. I want to work on it.
All right, well, let's get into this last dessert. Now, these are Stovetop Kisses recipes.
Okay.
Okay, so the frozen banana pudding pie.
Okay, delicious.
Deep fried peach cobbler.
Okay.
Sweet potato pie cheesecake.
Ooh.
Or the red velvet pancake. One has to go.
I'm going to do, we got banana pudding pie, sweet potato cheesecake, red velvet pound cake, and what was the other one?
The deep fried peach cobbler.
Oh, the peach cobbler. It's delicious.
You know what?
I'm biased because I love red velvet is my favorite thing. Banana pudding is my second favorite, and I love sweet potato pie. So you gave me my top three.
And it's hard because I don't like hot
I
fruit.
ain't gonna even lie. Everybody that tried, they be like, wait a minute. It is. It's delicious. Everybody should make it for sure. It is really, really good. I ain't gonna even lie to you. It's good.
Well, I don't like hot
Lead
fruit.
into my other favorites.
I don't like hot fruit though. So I will eat
I mean, I don't mind hot fruit.
I'll eat the cobbler, but just the sauce and the bread. And
let me tell you something though. With the deep fried peach cobbler, just the fried biscuits and powdered sugar, baby, that's locked up. That's all you need. You don't even need the peaches. Like we couldn't even make it through the recipe. We were like, child, these peaches is good. The cameraman was like, are you gonna eat all? I mean, the biscuits. He was like, you gonna eat all the biscuits? I was like, babe, we got some more. We can make some more. Even I won't. This is my set.
Right.
But yeah, that's mine. It gotta go.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. So you got rid of waffles, pizza, Italian food, and a deep fried peach cobbler.
I did.
I don't know about y'all, but if y'all have not, those of you who are watching, if y'all have not been to Stovetop Kisses YouTube, make sure you go there right now or after you watch this episode. Then go on over there and check out all of her recipes, and I promise you, you're going to have dinner for the rest of the quarter, at the very least. And
we got the recipes coming because we actually just finished filming some. So it's like new ones coming. So by the time this comes out, there'll be some more of them.
I'm excited. And you know what? I typically do good with your recipes, but you know what messed me up?
What?
The sweet potatoes. I couldn't get it right.
Oh, Lord.
Well, you know why? Because I don't have no cast iron skillet. And I just tried to make it in the pan and it didn't do right.
What sweet potatoes? The candy yams?
Yep.
What happened to them? Look at me like this.
Yeah. It just like, because yours got like this little chew to the edges and it kind of got, with mine, I guess because I didn't have a cast iron, it didn't do right. I might have did something wrong. It didn't do right. And you know what else I did?
In a cast iron, you make them in a pot. You got to make them in a pot.
You know
like
what
a pot with the lid on there.
And I ain't had no lid. I used aluminum foil.
That's okay. Was they hard? Like what was wrong with
it? You know what else I did? You get ready to yell at me. I used canned sweet potatoes.
Oh, that's
yeah. I was trying to wrestle because it was
go.
I used I used some Bruce's sweet potatoes.
Girl.
They were not, needless to say, and I want to see if I say this right, they were not salted.
They wouldn't, that ain't something.
They weren't salted.
Taste of canned potatoes.
For those of people who've been living under a rock, obviously, who don't know who Danni Rose and Stovetop Kisses is, what is salted? Did I say it right? Am I saying it right?
So salted, yes, SOPPEDUP. So sopped up means soaked, saturated, full of flavor. Like if it ain't that, we like, child, what this is. And it's so amazing because people, and I trademarked it, I sure did. And it's so, listen, at the end of the day, I'm a businesswoman. I don't care if nobody say I am that. But we literally, I literally have people, it's so amazing to hear, they be going to restaurants and they be like, is the crab cake sopped up? Because yes. Like, y'all cannot be doing that to these
people. Oh my goodness.
I'm like, what?
I absolutely love it. I'll be in the kitchen. I'm like, oh, this is sopped up. But this is
good.
Like, I mean, one time, the first time my son said it, I was like, I tasted it, I did a little taste. He was like, what, Mom? It's sopped up. I'm like, yes, it is.
My daughter was the same way. She's like, ooh, yeah, that's sopped up. I'm like, child, you ain't got a hood bone in your body. You been living in the suburbs all your life. What you talking about?
So when you think about cooking, do you look at it as something that you get to do or that you have to do?
So now, if I could be honest about it, it's both. Okay. I have to, this is so funny, we just talked about this. I literally just talked with my camera crew a minute ago about this. And I said, I've been behind this stove. What people don't understand, I've been behind this stove professionally for 15 years. So it started out as something I got to do, and now it's something that I have to do because it's my livelihood. But I'm shifting. I'm in a new shift. The Lord is shifting me to do other things outside of the kitchen, which I pray for. Because, and I just talked about this on our podcast, people will box you in when they don't even like to be boxed in. They'll say, don't box me in, let me do what I want to do. And the minute that you do something else, they say, no, we want you to do this. And I'm like, there's so many layers, especially when he gave the people talents in the word. He gave them so many. Some had 10 talents, some had, all that. And so it's like, I have so many other talents that I want to tap into and that I will. And for me, food has been something now that I have to do because it's my profession. I still love doing it because I see what it does for families and people. And it brings so much joy to them. So I love doing it. But it's not something that I just get to do anymore. So i.e. the Postmates coming from my daughter, and like the thing, they were like, oh, I bet it's lit over there. I bet your house be lit with food. I'm like, child, we be over here. If there ain't no filming day, we be over here like, so.
What we gonna do? Right. And you know what's so funny? Like, I get that, unique spaces, but I get that same experience, right? Like, folks will approach me and assume things about my life and my relationship because of what I do. And I'm like, baby. If you only knew. Like, it really, because the thing is that when something that you love when you begin to monetize it, when it becomes a business, like you said, when it becomes something that's necessary for your livelihood, you still love it, but it's different. Because
for sure.
You wake up in the morning, you're not making a decision to do it anymore. It's one of those things that, do you want to eat? Do you want to pay your mortgage? Then you do it. It takes I'm assuming that, because I enjoy cooking as well, but I can imagine having to cook to eat, to feed my family or take care of, keep the lights on in my house, because there's sometimes, especially now with this homeschool, if Carter or Kaden eat vegetables twice in 1 week, I'm happy.
I'm telling you, I thank God that he gave me so many other talents that I feel will be enjoyable for people too. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing it a long time. And although this is how, if we can just say this is how you know that, in my opinion, because this is my opinion, not facts, but I believe that when you are in purpose, even when you fall out of love with it, you still do it. That's how you know it's purpose. You know what I'm saying? Because purpose snaps you back every single time. Like God be like, my hand on you, no. Get up. Yes, and that's how you know that it's like, it's bigger than you. It's what you're supposed to be doing, and because God literally snatches you back into it. It's almost like a marriage where you're like, you go through these emotions with your career and these things, and you're like, okay, and some people just divorce it and keep it moving, and they like, it's just not for me anymore. But it's like that. It's like a relationship. And even when you don't feel like it's giving you something back, the fact that it gives other people things, joy and all that, you're like, I got to stay in it for that. So I've gone through those changes with my career for sure, but I never stopped because I knew it was bigger than me. But there are times where I'll be like, okay, I'm going to cook dinner today. I'm going to make an effort.
And you got to talk yourself into it.
Yes, I'm going to cook. And it's so unreal for people sometimes. I'm like, you guys don't understand. Like, because people are like, we want to see what you eat for dinner and all that. I'm like, salad?
Right.
You want to see cheese and crackers and Diet 7-Up, because sometimes I'm so busy that this is all I have. You want to see, you know what I mean? Like, what do you want to see? So
Right.
I used to be able to do, like, I was like the queen of like Snapchat cooking and all that back like when it was hot. And like now God is expanding me so that it doesn't give me the opportunity to even do those type of things that I want to do. That was kind of like that, you know, and that would be food for my daughter and I, you know, my friends and family. But I'm getting back into it now. So I made a decision, just to get back on track. I made a decision to cook on Sundays.
Okay. That works.
Twice a week at least now. So Wednesday and Sundays, I'd be like, okay.
I did. And
that's just where we at now.
And that
so
works.
To answer your question, it is both. But both. One is actually a little bit more now.
Yeah. And so now that you've experienced that expansion, and you talked earlier about, you know, you have these brand deals now and you're doing things, and you know, a businesswoman where you see business and things like that, has that in either in your other business endeavors or specifically in the cooking field, has your identity as a Black woman impacted how you've been able to navigate this, like the world of business as it relates to cooking and your other endeavors?
Yes, and there's a positive and a negative to that, because we know as Black women, especially in the food industry is male dominated for sure. And then it's also white people dominated. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty whitewashed, if I could just be honest. And so with that, because it is that, but let me tell you how God set it up. Because it is that, then people like me who are Black, you know what I'm saying, and comes in and do Black folk stuff. What it did, it created a space and fulfilled a void. You know what I mean? So that was the positive of that. And so I was affected before, because, and still, we still are, if I could just be honest, as a Black woman in this industry, we still are affected. I think that every Black woman in business goes through that, you know, across the board. But we still are affected in that where we still don't get the same pay. We still don't get the same recognition. I have as many followers and less followers than a white blogger or food person. And they will still try to undercut you with deals and all type of stuff in contracts. And so we still don't get that just due. But what it does is that being Black and in this industry, because there is a deficit there, and God has now placed people like myself in it, it creates a crowd that draws to you, because it's like, oh, finally, you know what I'm saying? Somebody I can relate to, somebody I could, you know, like, that's like me, that talk like me, that dress like me, that, you know, that got the same swag and like the same food, you know, and so that's the upside of that, you know, and doing that. But there are still challenges as a Black woman for sure in this industry. We do not get our just due. This is why people don't see a lot of us out there.
But is that a lot of pressure to be like one of few, to have like you be the face of Black women cooking and like have folks look to you to as the one? Like, is that a lot of pressure to continuously show up every day because of that reason?
Not me, because that's why I try not to be something I ain't. You know what I mean? I'm like, girl, listen, I'm gonna fail you. Okay.
Don't know that.
Don't put me on a pedestal. Like, I'm not putting myself up there. Don't put me up there. You know what I'm saying? And so it's not a lot of pressure. I try not to lean into the pressure of that. And what I've done now is, child, because I be on my self-work journey. What I do now is I lean into what feels natural to me. I lean into what feels natural to me. And that takes the pressure off.
So what did you, if you can identify like a space or a thought, when did you get to the place where you felt like you could turn things down? Like when you like leaning into doing things with natural, like, you know, as brand deals are coming and, you know, moving away, I'm certain you are far away from doing stuff. You know, folks are sending emails, doing stuff for exposure and, you know, stuff like that. Like,
not no more. Thank you, God. Thank you.
Like, post all my stuff, put all this in my stories, use my seasonings in your kitchen for 6 months, and I'll give you a lifetime supply and $50.
No. No.
So did you ever feel the pressure to do it for exposure? Or
Oh yeah, for sure. I think that everyone, when they start out, they do these things when they're in the building season, because especially if you don't have a handout of somebody saying, hey, listen, this is your trust fund. I just go and do what you want to with it. You know what I mean? But in the building phases, if you're building something organically, then of course you don't have the financial backing, and you literally have to get it out the gutter like I did. I mean, I was selling plates out my car years ago. You know what I'm saying? In the sun. That you take whatever, because in your mind, you're like, I'm just trying to get to something. You know what I mean? And at that time, you don't even know sometimes what that something is. You just like, I just got to stay in it. And then you become grateful for every single opportunity, and understanding that those levels do get you to a new level for sure. So you get to the point where you can be like, no, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Anymore. But yeah, I did a lot of that early starting on. And so that's why I do encourage people, if they can, to, and I know this is not everybody's story, but we always try to push people from 9 to 5s and say, just jump into entrepreneurship. And I'm like, listen, if you can set yourself up financially to be a little stable and then shift to entrepreneurship, that way you can grow at your own pace and not have to make bad decisions based off desperation. And you know what I mean? Because now I'm like, I don't make no business deals out of desperation. That's just a bad thing. And so if you set yourself up that way, you can grow at your own pace. And that is my advice to people. When you don't have to take the things that I had to take for exposure and all that. You can build it as you want to.
Yeah. And for those watching, it's important to just look at that process. I believe God sends us a couple of ways to learn things, either by mentors or mistakes. And a lot of times when he sends us mentors, we learn from their mistakes, so we don't have to go in and make those things ourselves. So being able to have somebody who said, from the muscle, I had to bring this up. And so here's what I did. And here's some pitfalls that I either experienced or had to avoid. And here's how you can avoid it too. And that's really what my Evolving Me in part is about, is being able to bring to people, Black women doing unique things, doing things in an amazing way, having that story of the trials and then the associated triumphs, and doing it in a way that says, this is who I am, take it or leave it. And because we, like as Black women, we often feel that pressure to either be that one or to either conform, because then it's like the thought of, I like to call it sophisticated.
So this is so crazy, because I swear to God, if I'm lying, Holy Ghost reveal it. My shirt that we have, we put it back. It hasn't released yet, but it says Sophisticated Ratchet.
I love it. Send me the link, please. I wanted it every day.
Wait, hold on. I'm like, I can show you the timestamp, the screenshot of like, I had that shirt idea years ago and never did anything. I got some shirts, but when you said that, it's like, oh my God, really? Yes, I have a shirt that I made years ago and never put it out. But actually, yesterday, I was talking to my graphic designer, and he was like, I was like, you know what? I actually want this shirt. It's so crazy you just said that, Brittany. That's crazy. So it says Sophisticated Ratchet on there.
Yeah, and and I had to find and be comfortable, even being able to say that. Because my tongue is never not out. I had to fight at my own 9 to 5. When something goes good, I'm like, in the meeting.
Yes, that is Black women. We should not even try to stray away from that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I had to find that. I had to find it and be okay with that, because working the intersection of sexuality and faith, I had this moment where I'm like, am I supposed to give the sexuality field God, or am I supposed to give the people of God sex? And I was really pulled in both ways. I would go to these academic conferences and put on The Voice and stand and do all the things. And code switching got tiresome. And a friend of mine, she told me, Melissa Ventor from Sex Positive Families, she said, Brittany, find your people and talk to them. And the sophisticated Black women who love sex and love Jesus, those are my people. So when I come in, them like, today, ladies, here's what we're going to talk. They're like, no, thank you. But when I'm like, girlfriend, here's what I need you to understand about sex. And they're here. This is how
Yeah,
they do.
like, well, tell me about this. Tell me about the sex. Tell me.
And so I had to be comfortable with that.
It's infectious though, when your personality is like that. It's infectious, it's relatable.
And I don't have to work for this. It just happened. Now, sometimes I get a little carried away and I get real familiar sometimes. I got to reel it in.
That's okay. You should see me on this podcast, child. I'll be like this.
Period. Like, listen, I would say a sermon and end it in period, boo.
Right.
And like, I just, being comfortable with that for me is when God began to open doors. Like, he really like blew my mind. Like, after I had that conversation may have happened in maybe sometime in June or July. I met psychologist Shamira in August, and I presented at a conference, and that was the first time just me being myself. And then from there, she introduced me to Melissa, and then like life has just been so different since then, just from me saying yes to God in this, because I always say yes, but I was trying to again help him along the way.
Yeah.
And doing this and being myself, it's just like, this is what it is. And I am so.
It costs too much to be somebody else, child.
It really does. And it's tiresome. Like, it wears me. When I have to go to work and, mingle with the white folk and my 9 to 5 and smile and do all of that, I come home exhausted. Yeah. I could be filming and doing this for 8 hours a day and be at 10 o'clock, like it's a different, you know what I mean? It's very different. So when you think about, you said, I love whiskey, blues, and Jesus. Like, what is that? How is that a thing? How do you make that?
The duality. Well, my mom was a Sunday school teacher and my daddy owned a juke joint. So, it was, both was in basically put on me. Mm-hmm. So, my mama, who was a Sunday school teacher, and we went to church. Oh my God. I was at church every day. My mama had us, I was on praise. I was a praise dancer. I was in the Bible Bowl. I was at Sunday school. My mama was a part of the trustee board. So I had to go to her trustee meetings. I had to go to choir rehearsal. I had to go to Bible study. Literally 6 days out the week, we were at church. And at night, my daddy, he had a juke joint, which if people watching don't know what juke joint is, it's like a hole in the wall place down south, but it was literally right next door to our house. So it's another house. It's like they call it like a shotgun house almost. But it was a house, and he turned it into a bar. It's like a Cheers bar for Black people. Mm-hmm. And then our house was right here. So literally 3 steps, 4 steps maximum. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna say 5 steps. You were at the juke joint.
Okay.
They were that close, right? So we go do that, and then at night, my mama and them got a social savers club. What my mama did was show me how to balance.
Okay.
You know what I mean? How to not be so earthly bound. I mean, heavenly bound, you ain't no earthly good.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? So he had a good example of balancing it. Now, my daddy, he only went to church on Sundays. Now, that's it. Okay. If then, he made it a month, twice a month, every other Sunday. But he still had his servantship too, because my dad, even owning the juke joint, what I saw in him was the way that God used him, because during the day, the front of the juke joint was like a candy store. Like he would sell candy and stuff. And kids would come in there, they had no money. He would still give them stuff. They would come in there, they know how to count their money. He'd be like, you don't know how to count their money? Sit right there, let me teach you something. So he had his own way of serving, you know what I mean? Even though it wasn't in church, he did serve. So I learned servantship from him, and I learned the gospel from my mama. And so, in seeing that, it's like, how do I not be this? I think that God is in both places.
Yes.
He said, if you make your bed in hell, I'm still there. So it's like, he's in both places. And I think that it's not represented enough for people to see that I love God, but man, let me tell you something. I also love to have a good time. I also love to kick back. I also love to have me a little wine. You know what I'm saying? I also love me having a little drink because drink is how I'm going to deal with these church people. Praise God. You know what I mean? And so it's just, I can't explain it, but when you can't explain it, I think Melissa said it. She said it so eloquently. I can't quote her correct, but it's when it's unexplainable, God is the only explanation.
Yeah. And you know what? I love that. And I think that is a perfect place to bring to, that was so good. There's a perfect place to bring really just, oh, that was good. My God. That just, oh, child, hold on.
Oh, you're good.
that was the thing is that there's so much in life that just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And, you know, and like think about, like you've experienced great loss and you've done it with a tenacity. I have, you know, since 2017, like I swear, like it's one thing after another. And it's like, you know, I won't put more on you. He won't put more on you than you can bear. And I'm like, clearly we need to check this metric system a little bit more. And it's just like, when it's those things like, how am I still standing? How is life still happening? How am I still smiling? And when it's unexplainable, God is the only explanation. And that really is just amazing. So when you think about the type of Black woman that you are, understanding that my vulnerability is purpose to show that Black women are not a monolith. We are not all one kind. We don't come in all one shape, size, thought, or, you know, we all love Beyonce. That's about the only thing we agree on, that, and that Idris Elba is fine.
I just talked about that on my podcast about Beyonce being the greatest rapper alive, and I was like, don't at me.
Don't. I mean, that, like, we agree on that. We will agree on the fact that Idris Elba is fine. And other than that, I think that everything else, we're different. We have very dynamic creatures. But thinking about the type of Black woman that you are, the type of mother that you are, the things that you've been through, overcome, and all that, what does it mean to be a Black woman, and what would leaving your mark on the world and leaving empty, having done all that you were supposed to, purpose to do, what would that be?
I think to be a Black woman is I mean, it's bomb. You know what I'm saying? I think that is unexplainable in itself. You can't explain our jazz, our pizzazz, our melanin, our pheromones, our je ne sais quoi. You know what I'm saying? The way that we walk, the way we talk, our mannerisms, our sexiness, our sultriness, our sophistication, also our ratchetness, our ability to be able to code switch, our ability to be able to pour into people and empower them and inspire them and aspire them in the same and be aspired in the same way. It is one of the most rewarding things I think that God has blessed us with to be. And that is something that the world, and let's just talk about back in the day of like ancestry times, what they tried to actually put back, God brought forward. Because being Black now, man, it's popping to be Black.
Really?
He said, the first shall be last and the last shall be first, you know? So it's like, look at what we're doing as Black women. First of all, we ain't taking no crap. We have decided to stand up. We have decided to empower our people. We have decided to stand for our people, not only our people, but for people in general. We have decided to pour into our Black men. It's the way that we carry, the weight that we carry, the strength that we have. You know what I mean? You can't deny who we are. And so, and I think for a lot of women too, they struggle with being Black, but like now you see the shift where everybody is like embracing who they are as Black women and affirming other Black women. So I'm like, Black girl, to be Black is popping. What you mean? To be Black is everything.
And wouldn't want to be nothing else. Can you imagine not being a Black woman?
Girl, what it look like? Bland. It ain't stopped up, I tell you that.
That is what it is. What is it like to be a Black woman? To be stopped up?
To be stopped up.
That's it. That is it. Oh.
To be stopped what does it mean to be a Black woman? To be sopped up. Matter of fact, when you edit this, that's all you need to put in there.
That's it. That's the mama. What does it mean to be a Black woman? To be sopped up. That needs to be on the shirt. I am sopped up.
That's it. To be sopped up. No, nothing against other race at all. Because, and the thing about Black people, especially Black women, we support everybody. We don't cause no trouble. Sure. They cause trouble with us.
However,
you guys vultures. We don't start no trouble. We don't want no never mind. We don't start nothing.
We don't cause trouble. We don't bother nobody.
We don't. You know what I mean? But when you come at us, then we got a problem.
And that's what
it is. It's something that's just, to me, so rewarding to be Black. And it's just something that is just unexplainable. And it's a connection that we have with each other in the Black society. It's just amazing. Yeah. Amazing.
That is so good. You know what? Thank you. So what would, to leave your mark on
so leave my mark. Man, listen, I honestly, I get asked this question so much, it's crazy. And I never have the right answer. Okay. Let me just say that. Never. To leave my mark, it means that what I have tried to do, especially in my industry, is to create and trailblaze a space for people that need to understand that the opportunities that you didn't have, I'm working hard for you to have. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? In this space. And to let you know that, man, and I know it's so cliche, but if girl, been homeless at 15, okay, domestic violence victim, rape victim, all of that or whatever, if I could push through pain, and if I could lean into purpose and trust God, so can you. Yeah. And that's the thing, is to teach people how to walk in purpose and to not be afraid to be authentic in it. It will make room for you.
Yeah. It will make room for you. It will make room for you. Yeah. Being authentically yourself will make room for you. And it is too tiring and too much work to be somebody else. And you heard it from the mouth of the Danni Rose herself. To be a Black woman, you are socked up. And is there anything else to be? Like, is there anything else to be? Like, would you want to be anything else but socked up? Like, no.
Sometimes I wish that I could click my heels like Dorothy and get on out of LA sometimes and go be on a beach. But other than that, no.
Oh my God, this was so good. Thank you.
Yeah, and as a matter, just shameless plug, I am wearing your shirt tomorrow when I go to the airport, because it's always a conversational piece. Lord, it's always like, do that say
what that say? And you know what's so funny? That the golden clit, like that, I've had golden clit shirts for years, and nobody ever said anything. The moment I put the word clit on there, child, everybody lost their minds. And I'm like, all right, well,
good.
That's what you ask the questions. That mean I can educate you. And don't. And if I'm on a plane and I got Veronica with me, is that a pillow? No, it's not. Let me show you what it is. And teaching them all the part. Listen, I love it.
The Lord allows you to come out with your sex toy line, okay? Sex set, candles, all bedroom erotic things, and I'm just going to be praying and standing in agreement with you that He enlarges your territory and that He expands you and launches you and slingshots you into nothing but absolute greatness, and that you will walk boldly in it, because you already are, but you stand bold in it and don't waver. Because it's really, really exciting and refreshing to see. And it is well needed, and it's also on my end well received. So kudos to you. I believe that the Lord is definitely on your side, and there is more to come. So happy that I could join. I've had a fantastic time of being here. I actually woke up because I've been moving all morning. I was like, I'm a little sleepy, but this conversation has just woke me up, and I'm just so happy that you took the time to sit here and chat with me. I know I was invited, but thank you.
Now, I have to record after this. Now, don't get my makeup to streak, because my makeup artist.
Oh man!
I'm being here looking crazy.
Look, when I be leaving worship and stuff, I be like, first of all, I look like a raccoon. I know, but Jesus deserves it.
Listen, that ugly Friday. I can't wait. I am so
Everybody's makeup. Hallelujah. Thank you.
hallelujah.
But
Well,
yeah, it's been a pleasure.
as we wrap up, let everybody know where to find you, where to stay in contact with you, what you have coming up. Let them know about your podcast, like all the things, where they can reach you.
Yeah, so hopefully by the time this comes out, we'll have a Patreon. I'm working on a Patreon. All my friends got Patreons, and I was like, I'm out the loop. Okay. But yeah, you can follow me on all social media platforms, y'all. It's Stovetop Kisses, and that's on YouTube. That's on Facebook. I'm Danni Rose on Facebook, and then it's Instagram, Stovetop Kisses. And then my podcast, our podcast, is Grown Folks Business. But you can stream it on all podcast platforms, Apple, iHeartRadio, Spotify, all that. And then you can also watch us at Food, me, because Stevie don't be doing that, be me. Food on YouTube. So it comes out every Sunday at 7. Actually, we're late posting this week. That's okay. We're going to post today. On there. So yeah, we have a podcast, and you can follow the podcast page at This Is Grown Folks Business Podcast. This is Grown Folks Business on Instagram. I had to think about it. I'm like, girl, you gotta stop drinking Hennessy, girl.
Awesome. Thank you
so much for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you for coming, and everybody watching. Make sure you go right now. Follow the at Stovetop Kisses. Follow This Is Grown Folks Podcast. It's very, very funny. They definitely do lots and lots.
I don't know about this one coming out today though. This one to come out today, he was like, let's talk about such and such. I was like, yeah, let's talk about how you pissed me off. Like, it's that. And it's so good. We have really good, healthy conversations coming, whatever. Like right now, we kind of tread lightly a little bit, but
come on,
but the other episodes we've just recorded, I'm like, cause we have them in the pipeline. I'm like, man, we about to really
shake up the world. I'm ready.
So thank you for that. Thank you for that. We have a good time. And we would love, listen, I would love to have you on the podcast. This is us talking now. I would love to have you on there because I am a Christian who loves sex. And what I've been doing now is actually kind of abstaining from it. And now that is a journey that is like, ooh. Yeah, so I would love to have you on. So I'll reach out. Look, my people call your people.
Absolutely. But honey,
we can coordinate for sure. I'd love to have you.
Premarital abstinence is one kind of thing, but postmarital abstinence, I feel like this is a different kind of spiritual warfare.
Trust me, I know.
But yeah, absolutely. Anytime.
And it's also hard when you got options.
So listen, the first time I think I was doing the Clubhouse the other day, I was wanting to do Clubhouse the other day. Like the first time I abstained, I was Leah. This time I'm Rachel.
Oh,
it's hitting different. I'm just saying, cause she's cute.
That's a good way to put it, girl.
Now I was always cute, but I know
she was good on the eyes. Now you like, what's up? What you mean?
And I'm cute, and I know it. I know what I had to offer. And I know the power of the whole thing. And I'm like, I will bless your life. Now we could be on that for another whole day.
I said, oh, you gotta come on, baby, because that's a good space to be in. They ain't nothing but the truth, child. That yeah, we'll email you.
All right.
Man, unpack that in so many ways. Man, I felt that one, girl. Woo! Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will be back We'll be back on Thursday. Make sure you tune in. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe this video and follow Danni Rose. And this is the Grown Folks Podcast and Stovetop Kisses on everything. And we will see you next time.
Bye, you guys. You guys take care and God bless you. Brittany, see you soon, okay?